Hey everybody, it's Kevin here for you for another cool Lyoko episode review. I just want to welcome all you Lyoko warriors to this next episode review, episode 22, titled Routine. I was supposed to do Lyoko warriors before Captain Reef, but I still got it in there. Still got it in there. Anyway, after the opening, we start off in Lyoko, off the bat, and we get all three of them in there: Yumi, Odd, and Org. And the first season, like I said, it is like very rare. It is very rare to see them all on Lyoko at the same time in the first season. Very rare. Anyway, they're in the forest sector, helping Ali to go to the activated tower. And there's two blocks and a mega tank. So Yumi, they all look at each other like, okay, go. So Yumi jumps up in the air, takes out a fan, throws it, hits up one block easy, and she lands on the ground. But then the other block went to go kill her, like shoot a laser at her. Or it just swoops in the frame out of nowhere, just like slides in and blocks it, and he jumps up and impacts that block, destroys it, obviously because he impacted it, and he tells Odd and Alita to go. So they run up to the tower. Odd, he jumps onto the Mega Tank right before it like shoots his laser out. He shoots it, it dies, Alita's able to go in, return to the past, and then boom. Sorry if I seem out of breath. Let me just slow down. Jeremy just congratulates them on another good day. We get like one little mini scene inside Mrs. Hertz's classroom when she was like, "You guys just don't understand how to how to do this equation." And then the bell rings, everybody walks out, and then we pan to some random kids outside just doing some random stuff before we go to the main crew. And one of the ladies, it was like two girls talking. One of them says, "You know what? I like Odd better. He's a bit funny." And then we just see some other kids just talking about like video games. And we pan over to the main crew, and Yumi's just sitting on a bench. Well, she's like laying, like her, I'll say, like she's like laying on the bench with her feet up there. I mean, that's not illegal or anything. I'm just saying, like, I won't know, I won't normally do that, but she's like laying on the bench. If y'all can see this, well, she's just like literally just laying up there with her legs. I guess I don't really need a towel for that. She's just laying up there. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, I guess, but I'm just okay. Anyway, she looks up, and then it's the boys. It's the boys all walking together. It's my boys. Jeremy, Odd, and Org just walking. That's my boys right there. They walk up to her, and Yumi's like, "So, how was your day?" And Org's like, "Well, just like the other day, because they went back in time." He said, "Same physics class, still boring. I still don't understand." Yumi goes, "Man, we go through that physics class once, twice. You're still not gonna understand. You're still not gonna understand. So who cares?" And then Oric sits down, and then there's this funny scene where Odd everybody sees Sissy in the distance walking up to him, and Odd goes, "Oh, here comes Sissy." It look, she's gonna say, "Oric, my dear, can I talk to you for a minute?" And she walks up and she says that, and he starts to laugh, obviously, and he goes, "No, I'm not gonna go in your room. Go over page 52 of the science. I think it was like a science book." And she's like, "How did you?" Never mind, she runs off. I mean, not run off, but she like walks off. And it was funny because the animation they used on Sissy when she was walking up to the crew, it was like a really low animation version of herself just doing this. She was just doing this above us. It was pretty funny. I like as soon as they said, "Oh, here comes Sissy," look at this. She's just like, I don't know what she's trying to do with her hand, but she's just like waving them side to side. Like she's really mad. For some reason, look. I don't know what she was trying to do, man. I don't know what. And right after that, you know what? It's just, yeah, this ain't gonna be too long. I was sort of the usual. Let me just keep it down like this, whatever. Anyway, as soon as Sissy says what Odd just said, because he already knows what's gonna happen, he starts to laugh and he does this huge smile. He does this huge smile when he laughs when Sissy says the exact same thing that he just said that Sissy said. That's a pretty confusing sentence. But y'all get what I'm saying, because they went back in time, so he already knew what Sissy was going to say. Just how like Oric said, just how Oric knew what she was already going to say. And he says, second of all, oh yeah, I forgot. Sissy always calls him Oric dear. He's like, "I'm not your Oric dear." First of all, second of all, I will not go to your room to explain exercise B, page 52 of we get this. She gets mad, and she walks off. Everybody starts to laugh, of course, and then everybody walks Yumi to the main gate of the school. Then or he said, "Hey, are you guys trying to sneak out from the school grounds? You do something in town?" Jeremy says no because he wants to go work on materialization on Lita, And it's funny because like his voice, because he said he's out. I'm gonna just skip out today, or I'm gonna go try to figure out the materialization program for my leader. One day I'm gonna do it. Just one day I'm gonna do it. He said no for that. I said no because he wants to hang out with a girl named Maria. Yumi says no because she says she's sort of falling behind in some of her classes, so she wants to study up. And she mentioned that the reason she's falling behind because they've been having non-stop Zen attacks. Then on the episode, they said this is like the fifth attack Zen done in this 1 week, which is pretty crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's 5 attacks in 1 week, and no wonder you're falling behind. So Yumi says no because she wants to go study up on her classes. Audrey's gonna go hang out with some girl. Jeremy's working on a utilization program, and Oryx just left by himself. He's like, oh, okay. And he just looks at everybody just running, like going about, and especially when he looks at Yumi because he feels attacked. He's trying to talk to you because they have that sort of flirtation thing going on. And she's walking away. He's like, okay. And she walks off, and then we cut again to your Oryx and Odd room, and Oryx is playing around with Kiwi. And I worked actually on how was your day. You know my day? Well, in gym class, my shorts ripped and you can guess why. I had a fight with Maria, and what was the third? He said a third thing. I think he said like gym or something. I forget what was like the third thing he said. I don't know what he. I'm gonna wind it real quick. He said a third thing. I want to get all the information to you. He said yeah, his shorts ripped. Oh, and he lost his pencil case in the library. And he had a fight with Marcy. I've been saying Maria this whole time. I've been saying Maria. I've been saying thank goodness for subtitles. You know what I mean? I've been saying Maria this whole time. Anyway, Orth asked him, "Don't you feel like we already had this day before?" And I was like, "I mean, yeah, we did the reverse to the times thing. We had the same physics class, we had the same math class, some everything." And Orth mentioned that he's just sort of sick and tired of this whole Xana thing. He's sick and tired of an attack happening, going to Lyoko, reversing time, having the exact same day over again. He's just kind of sick of it. He just wants to live life again. And he's sort of sick of Yumi, not sick of her like in a bad way, sort of sick about how he's kind of worried about how he's getting the feeling that Yumi doesn't like him like that. Like he's kind of worried that maybe her feelings for him, if she had any feelings for him in the first place, have gone away. He's kind of nervous about that. He doesn't really know if she loves him. And then when he looks at Odd, he fell asleep. So maybe he heard some of that, maybe he didn't. But he was sort of, trying to open up to Odd, but that's his good friend. That was a really nice and tender moment between those two, even though Odd fell asleep. Even though Odd fell asleep mid-conversation, it was sort of it was a pretty sweet moment. It was pretty nice. Anyway, right after that, Oryx walks out of the room to go take a shower. And then he's in a robe and he's walking back to his room and he bumps into Emily. Not bump into her, he walks past Emily and they both say hi. And then she also says, "Hey, have you seen Jim around?" He's like, no, I haven't." Okay. And she walks through the double doors, and while she's walking through the doors, they're looking at each other. And she walks through the doors and he's like, "What the heck? Is she into me?" I'm like, what? I mean, okay, they were looking, they were having some eye contact for a while. I mean, okay, I guess you could think about that. But then when I first watched it, I was like, all she said was, "Have you seen Jim?" I don't get. How does that mean you like? How does that mean she likes him? I mean, they were staring at each other for a minute, They were staring at each other, so you could see something, and like lo and behold, like coincidence, right? As soon as he thinks like, "Hey, does he like me?" Jim comes out of nowhere. He's like, "Oh snap! Hey Jim, oh nah, I wasn't sleepwalking. Emily's looking for you." He's like, "Huh?" And he looks at the double doors, and that's it. That was like really, really weird. Really weird situation. Right before we cut back to school, we get one little scene of the factory, and we see Xana doing something to the factory. We see we see the supercomputer starting to rise up out of the ground. The little like ground hacks is in, and then we cut to the school, and we get a first-person perspective of Yumi. Yumi's walking to the bench where Odd and Orc are. Sorry, Yumi's walking to the bench where Odd and Jeremy are. And she's kind of mad because in the distance you see Orc and Emily talking and laughing like crazy. She's like, "Huh? I never seen them two talk before. They don't look too bored, yeah." And they're like laughing their heads off and talking like crazy. And obviously she's getting kind of jealous and mad. And she's like, "Hey, what are they doing over there?" And we're like, "Huh?" Well, I guess he's talking to Emily. "What's the matter? You jealous?" She was like, "No, I'm not jealous. It's just like, Emily, she's a whole year older than him. I mean, that's a lot." And they just both look at each other odd. And Jeremy's like, well, you're a whole year older than him too. I guess you just forgot. I love how when she's getting mad, like throwing her bag to the not to the ground, when she's throwing her bag on the bench, trying to look through it, and they're just looking at each other. Like it's just like a little smirk him and Odd give each other when they like they know like Yumi's jealous and she's getting kind of mad about this. It's just funny to me how like they just know. And obviously, too, like, I missed it. It goes by so quick. I swear, dude. The scene goes by so quick. But look, like, I'm so, yeah, like, they just look at each other when Yumi's getting all mad and you like the Orc is talking to some other girl. Look at this. Look. I was like, yeah, okay, well, Jeremy's not really looking at him. But, I was like, she's mad. She's mad. That was pretty funny. And when after Jeremy says that, well, you're a whole year older than him too. I guess you just forgot. And she said, well, that's different. I'm Oric's girlfriend. I mean, no, I'm Oric's good friend. I'm Oric's good friend. She's trying to catch herself. Then after that, we cut to Sissy's perspective where it was like, what was it? Nicholas was like beating up the vending machine because it wasn't giving his milk or whatever. He was getting mad. And obviously, she's getting mad because some other girl is talking to Oric, so she's kind of fed up. And she notices Yumi is pretty mad about it. She's like, you know what? I got an idea. That's going to have Oric all over me. Because, like, what are you going to do? She walks over to Yumi and she starts to start something up by saying that Oric and Emily have been talking and being together for about 2 months now. Yumi's like, what? Are you serious? He's like, oh, he didn't tell you? That's okay. I gave up on Oric a long time ago. I can see they're pretty tight and they're gonna probably get married or go out soon anytime now. Well, see you later. Oh, it's gonna start. So this is a snake. She's a snake, man. I swear. Sissy, man. She is a snake. She'll do anything. I swear she'll do anything to get Oric. Anything. And Yumi, she storms off, and Nicholas like, how was that supposed to? Like, he's like, can you tell me your game plan here? How is that supposed to get Oric on you by making Yumi mad? That's not gonna do anything. And then we just cut to Aelita in the desert sector for a second, because like we just cut to Aelita just standing in the middle of the desert sector, and it zooms in on her face, and she's like, Jeremy, Xana's attacking this post ASAP. So I'm like, oh, okay. But before that, but right before it zooms in all the way so we can see her, she's just standing there. And I was like, what are you doing in the middle of nowhere? In my mind, I was like, what are you doing just standing there for no reason? You're just out in the open, just standing there. What are you doing? I was like, literally, like, what are you doing? Go in a tower or something. Like, you're just asking to get attacked. But no, she was just walking around because she felt pulsations. And yes, the pulsations was going crazy. So Odd and Jeremy and Yumi's like, oh, okay. Another Xan attack. Okay, let's go. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, my bad. This connects to the end of the episode. While Oric and all were talking in the room, while he mentioned about haven't you felt that we've been doing the same day, and all was like, oh yeah, of course. I mean, we did the virtual time thing, we did the same math class and gym class. I even love when we do You Who Is Us time. And it's like, what are you talking about? He said the game plan that we do to help a leader get to the tower. I like to give a little nicknames, a little strategies we do. And that one that we just did last time, they call it You Who Is Us time. Or oh, okay. He's not like mad or sad about it. He's like, oh, okay. He's like, okay. Anyway, Jeremy tries to call Oric, but it goes instantly to like street dial. And he's like, oh, I guess Oric turned off his phone. And he goes, don't worry, I'll get him. And then you both look at each other like, okay. So while Oric and Emily are trying to go for a walk, Yumi runs up to him like, hey, Xana's attacking, we need to go. He's like, oh, really? Okay, well, I'll meet you guys there, just give me a second. She's like, no. What do you mean you're going to meet us a second? He's like, what is your problem? I'm just talking, I just got to go talk to my friend real quick. It's not bothering you? And when he says it's bothering you, he like goes up to Yumi's face and smiles. He smiles like really hard when he says, what's the matter? Oh, and you talking to the other girl bothering you? It's the smile that really made it funny because, you could have just said that. But then he does like a really big smile. Look at this. He does a really big smile. He was like, what? Of course it's not bothering me. And then they start to argue some more. And while they're arguing, the whole screen, the whole background changes to red. and then they both disappear off screen, and then one of them will come up on the screen, then it'll disappear. The other one will come up on the screen and disappear. And I was like, is this Xana? I don't know what is going on. Like, look, while they're arguing, the whole background turned red, and then one will come up, say whatever they're saying, and then the other one will disappear. Then Orc will come up. Oh no, okay, well now Orc, but then Orc will come up and say what he needs to say while they're arguing. I'm like, what is going? Because and then it just turns back, and they never addresses that during the episodes. So I guess that was supposed to show how dramatic and how serious this argument is. I guess that was supposed to be happening because they didn't never mention it later on. So I guess the animators is supposed to show how mad and how dramatic they are. Basically, throughout this whole argument, Yumi's mad, and I guess I could say word for word what they're saying. But Orange says, "Oh, I get it." Oh no, Yumi says, "Hey, we're buddies. Like, what are you talking to her for?" He's like, "Oh, we're buddies. Okay, I see now. I wonder what you thought of us. Now I know." That's Orc. Then Yumi says, "That's right. A couple of pals. Nothing more and besties. That's the way you want it. Not like Emily, huh?" Oh, Orc. I'm sorry. And be honest, huh? Me be honest. You and Emily have been together for 2 months without a word. And always like, what are you talking to? You know what? I don't gotta explain myself to you. I'll see you at the factory, ciao. And she's like, oh, ciao. That's all you gotta say, huh? And he walks off with Emily. And then not Orc, sorry. Yumi, she walks off to the factory after Yumi calls her. And she's like, oh, yeah, Orc's coming. He'll meet us there. And they hang up. And anyway, Stacey says, see, now that's my game plan. Nicholas is still like, what are you talking about? All they did was argue. How is that going to help you get Oric? Watch this. In the next 30 seconds, Oric will be all over me. The next 30 seconds. Okay, let's see. So Oric walks into the building to drop off Emily. Not to drop her, but she's walking up to her room. Oric's like, okay, bye. Once she walks up the stairs, she's out of sight. Oric walks out the building, then Sissy runs up on Oric like, Oric, I gotta tell you something really quick. I can't wait much longer. Jesus, Sissy, please get away from me. I'm not in the mood. Don't call me Oric. Just move. And he walks away towards the factory, and Nicholas is on the side laughing his head off. He's like, whoa, 30 seconds are up. Guess that didn't work. I didn't understand the gameplay. I guess the game plan was to him. The only way I could see this game plan working was to get Emily and Yumi mad at Oric, and then the only one left would be Sissy. But Emily didn't even get mad at Oric, so I didn't get this game plan at all. And Sissy, she ran up into his face, man. Like, look at this, like the anime, like she is happy to see Oric. She ran up all up in his face, all happy. You like, back up. Like, yo, can you back up, please? You are all up in my grill right now. Like, no wonder Oric was mad and told him back up. No wonder. Like, geez. I don't know. We get to the factory. They're all there, and during you sure you feel like you saw Hilo? You sure you feel possessions? And she's like, yeah, they're like super strong. I see the activated tower there, but what's going on your end? I mean, like, well, there's nothing too strange here. We don't see any monsters, no like swarm of bees, no earthquakes. It's kind of weird how Xana's activating a tower and there's nothing going on here. It's kind of strange. You need to figure out what's going on. Odd makes a joke about saying, maybe Xana's attack is somewhat directed more towards us. Maybe Xana's using Emily to get between us, especially Oric and Yumi. And Oric goes, you know what? Or maybe Xana's using a ridiculous theory to distract us. I think Yumi was like, lay off Odd. He's just trying to. No. I think it was Jeremy. He was like, lay off Odd. He's just trying to let him move. Okay. And they start to argue again, and then Alita says, you know what, maybe let's get closer to the affected tower. Jeremy's like, yeah, that might be good. You know what? One of you guys have to go to help her, just to do some reconnaissance on Lyoko. And they're all quiet. And everybody speak at once. And then Yumi and Oric start to argue, but you know what? Maybe Yumi should go. She's pretty mad right now. Maybe Oric should go. I feel like Lyoko better than me. Then Jeremy literally bangs his fist on the computer. Not like on it, but like next to the computer keyboard. He said, look, there's an activated tower. That means Alita is in trouble on Lyoko. So one of you guys have to go. No question. Stop arguing. So I look at this, but he's like he's turning around, like so that's why I was doing that. And they're all quiet. He's like, you know what? All three of you go now. So they all three go to the scanners. They get scanned, and the funniest thing happened. As soon as he scans them and they get to Lyoko, each one of their like character bios pop up, and each one of them says error. And as soon as it does that, he goes, whoa. like he just spaz at them to all go into the scanners. As soon as they get there, each one of their character bios error, error, error. Oh shoot. He was like, oops. This ain't good. Anyway, as soon as they all get there, he talks to Ali like, hey, are they there? Because some sort of error popped up. And he's like, oh yeah, they're all here. All accounted for. Okay then. So they walk over to the affected tower. No, not to the affected tower. They walk over to the deactivated tower because they said, because it was kind of strange how as soon as they go to the towers, something messes up in their code. So they said, okay, don't worry about the activated tower right now. Because nothing strange is going on in the world. So I think we're good. So go to a deactivated tower and we can like look through the database and see what's going on. Okay, that's the game plan. So they go. Alita walks into it. She's talking to Zemi, looking through the databanks, and then a roaster comes up. And then I don't know why. Like when I was a kid, even now, it's kind of funny to me because they're all like sitting down, just waiting for Alita to come out to figure out what's going on. And a roaster comes up, and Or goes, "Hey, you get closer." And he's talking to Oz, and all he just like slugs gets up, and he points his arrow at the roaster, and he shoots it, but the roaster shoots him at the same time, so they both hit each other. And then we find out that Xena affected the de-virtualization program in the system. So if they de-virtualize in Lyoko, they legit die. And that one shot took away 50 life points. So Jeremy is freaking out. Like he is freaking out because, if they de-virtualize, they'll actually die. And Audie just lost 50 life points in one shot. So he is starting to panic. I guess let me just show you the scene where like Ori's like, hey, you get it closer. I don't know why that was so funny to me. I just don't know why, because they're just like chilling here. He's like, man, you get it, you're closer. He just like slugs up. I just don't know why that's so funny to me. I just, like as a kid that had me crying, I didn't like start crying like crazy here. But that one scene where he like, I guess it was just like the wonky movements like that. It just made me laugh so hard as a kid. Yeah, I chuckled a lot, but I didn't like, start crying like I was as a kid. But it's pretty funny. So then they say, okay, so now we got to go deactivate the tower to fix this, so now we won't die when we die in Lyoko. So at first they were like, okay, they sort of just deactivated the tower in the first place. Obviously, they would have been a bit more reckless and would have died if they didn't know about if you devirtualize, you die. But at the same time, an activated tower is an activated tower. That means Xana's doing something. So that means deactivate the tower. Obviously, you want to go see exactly what, so that's why you went to the deactivated tower. I still would have been like, because like as soon as Jeremy said, okay guys, you guys need to go back to the activated tower and deactivate it. I'm like, what was the point of coming here? You guys should have just went and deactivated it in the first place. I was like 10 feet away when y'all first got here. What was the point of going this way to going back that way? That made no sense. But at the same time, you're going to want to know what you're doing. So that somewhat made sense. At the same time, I was like, man, y'all should have just went ahead and deactivated the tower because the fact that it's activated means that Xana's doing something because it's activated. But hey, I digress. It's whatever. It's whatever. They're going to deactivate it now. That's what they're doing. And then the ending of this episode, it intersplices Jeremy trying to figure out how to fix it on Earth, and then it shows them fighting on Lyoko. Jeremy's side of things, he keeps cutting back and forth. Let me just go ahead and get Jeremy things out of the way. He goes down to the scanners to figure out if he just has some sort of panel he could like type into that's not. And then Xana has full control of the factory somewhat, so he closes the doors like to the elevator. So Jeremy's like, okay, I'm gonna just have to go down this hole using a wrench. Then I can take out the hacked servers of Xana and put in some new servers. So that's what he does. He attacks himself to this rope wrench. So he presses the button and it lowers him down. And he's trying to take them out and put new ones in. He does that for like a few minutes when it keeps cutting back and forth from the fight and him. And so he goes, okay, so there's one more left. I'm going to push it in right now. And as soon as he touches it, Xana electrocutes him. The harness thing he's on goes crazy. He passes out because he got electrocuted. And he's just laying there until the reverse time thing happens. And then he's so good. I thought it was so funny. I'm like, oh, snap. He just end this episode now. As soon as he touches it, he just go crazy. I'm like, oh. Okay, well he was almost there. Low storage warning. Okay, let me go ahead. Anyway, they get to the activated tower and they're kind of debating on what to do. They're like, oh, maybe we should just wait for Jimmy to do something. No, I mean, I think we can hold out until then. But we're gonna die. Hey, it's us. We got this. We just gotta be a bit more careful than usual. Let's go. And then Argo goes, hey, if you who's our son? And when he says that, he has the biggest smile on his face. I mean, look at it. It's like his eyes get so big, and he has the biggest smile on his face when he says it. You who is us, son? Yeah. Let's go. So anyway, there's a crab, two mega tanks. Two mega tanks and a crab. So Yumi has the crab, and then On and Orc has the mega tanks. So On does the exact same thing as last time. He jumps onto the mega tank, shoots with his arrow, and dies. Orc runs up, does impact, boom, kills it. But the crab shoots On, and he falls over a little bit. And then Yumi, she got shot by it was off screen, but she got shot in the arm. But Yumi eventually was able to get onto some rocks, run, take out a fan, throw it, and shoot. I mean, not shoot. Kill the crab with a fan. But the crab was able to shoot her midair while she was killing the crab, and it shoots her off of the platform they're on, off Lyoko, so she's gonna fall to the digital sea. But Orga was able to run over and catch her and pull her back up. And she's like, "Oh, you saved me." And then while Lita's doing the return to the past, it keeps intersplicing with them for the kiss, but they like get right there, and then it does reverse. Um, Return to the Past. I keep thinking, I was like, what is it called again? It does Return to the Past, and they get like right there, right before they kiss on Lyoko. But obviously it does Return to the Past right before they do. But hey, it was almost for the kiss. Pretty big moment. Pretty big moment, you know. Anyway, and we go back to the school, and we get that exact same scene where they did. I mean, I know the sissy was trying to make Yumi mad by saying, "Hey, they've been together for 2 months," and Yumi's like, "Really? 2 months? Good for them. Hey, I can't believe it." She's like, huh? Like, she's like really confused, like, huh? You're glad about this? And then Org walks over, he's like, hey, Yumi, yeah, it's been 2 months, man. You happy for me? Of course I am. Man, you guys are some bums. And she just walks away because she's really mad that that plan didn't work. And then Org goes, Yumi, about the happen on Lyoko. Oh, let's keep that on Lyoko. Then Org starts to blush. And then that's the end of the episode. Yeah, that's the end of the episode now. Man, oh man, that was funny. That was hilarious. Oh yeah, I think what is it say? Oh yeah, I was confused because I was like, wow, I can't. Well, I guess only Yoko was pretty exciting, huh, Ori? And then they go back into Mrs. Hurt's class and Ori says, you know what, I think I learned something. I'm like, I don't know what you learned because as soon as he says that, it goes back to the kiss. But I'm like, I don't get what Ori was supposed to learn in that moment. He was like, you know what, I learned something. Then it cuts to the kiss. So I'm like, maybe he learned like not to make women angry, or maybe he learned. Oh wait, no, he learned that Yumi does still like him like that. Never mind. I'm so dumb because he was worrying that Yumi didn't really have feeling for him in the first place. Maybe she did. They're gone now. But in that moment, he realized he does love me. I still got to try. I think that's what it's supposed to be. If not, then I'm just sounding dumb. I'm just sounding really dumb. But if not, okay, that's what it's supposed to mean then. Because when I was like, what is that? What? I was like, oh, you didn't learn anything. I was so confused. But I think he's talking about like, I think Yumi still does kind of like it. So, that's the episode, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. I see you all later. I thank you all out there for being wonderful and beautiful and handsome human beings. Two swords. That'll be next season. No, that's not next season. That's like season 3, I think. Anyway, like, share, and subscribe. See you all later. I thank you all out there for being wonderful and beautiful and handsome human beings. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Woo. Long episode.